has so many doctors that apparently being a doctor isn't that helpful in immigrating there. Anyway, it's not without problems, but everyone is covered. I've also been to the U.S. where there's no healthcare coverage except Medicare and aid to veterans. So basically survive to 65 or go to hell. Leading many to be trapped in debt for years. This seems to contradict the U.S. desire for freedom. So this is, and this gets kind of the crux of the argument that we eventually get to, this freedom argument, right? Some people think that when government taxes and they spend money on something, that no matter what, that's less freedom, right? Even if like they spend the money on roads, right? Because before you could go in 360 degrees, right? Somewhat slowly, but you could, so you had unlimited freedom, right? They put roads and they say no, you have to go down this road this way and then make right-angled turns and put you in these boxes. So that's horrible. It's reducing your freedom, even though now without freedom you're able to get to where you want to go a lot faster, right? Okay, so some things that are done by the government that we all pay for collectively are efficient, and they increase our personal productivity, our personal ability to do things that we want to do. I don't know if you'd call that freedom or just value, but either way I don't see it as reducing my freedom that I have to pay taxes with everybody else and that I get a collective benefit that's not specifically billed to me after that. Okay. Alright, so this is the guy I was talking to a lot, and this is Chute Leach. He says that that's the opposite of freedom. People should be free to choose if they want healthcare or not. People should be free to choose who their healthcare provider is. Why do we have to rely on the government for something we can already do ourselves? Are there poor people without healthcare? Certainly, and it's a shame. But don't punish the people who have worked hard for their wealth and want to be able to see their doctor at a moment's notice, rather than wait hours and hours in line. So basically what he's saying is, okay, poor people not having health care, I'm sad for them, but screw them. If you have money, you should get health care. If you don't, you should die. Right? He says it's a shame, but he doesn't address it in any way, right? And then he reflects the opposite. Don't punish people who've worked hard, Don't punish people who've worked hard, but not rewarding them with, immediate cut-in-line health care, right? It doesn't matter if that person's having an emergency and you're not. You paid for it, and you're a millionaire, so we're going to treat you. And if they die in the meantime while we're doing your rhinoplasty, so be it, because they're just a poor person, right? So and then and he goes into this freedom thing, because he's strictly defining freedom as personal wealth, that's freedom, and that we already have health care because the corporations will give it to us if we have money. Of course, we don't really have it; they have it. It's a corporation that has it, and we have to fulfill a certain requirement, paying them in order to get it, right? Whether it's through insurance or just paying the bill up front, right? If the government does it, we're all taxed. It all goes into one big pool. It tends to cost less because if everybody's in a similar system, and if we get more value out of it, okay, that's more value, same freedom, no more, no less. For us being able to choose to give healthcare to everybody instead of only to those who make above a certain amount of money or who are currently working or whatever it happens to be, we can make those decisions democratically. That's freedom, to be able to democratically elect representatives who will reflect our will, hopefully, right? That's a freedom, right? Only, being able to spend your money on whatever you want, that's a different freedom. But if you get more value one way than the other, then you prefer the one that gives you more value usually. especially something like this where it's just kind of silly, you know. I mean, I wouldn't want the government supplying me with like my red licorice, you know. I think it would just be silly, right? So I'll go buy my red licorice for my money, you know, with my spending money, whatever, or my cigarettes or my alcohol, whatever I want, right? You know, I'll go buy my clothes myself, right? I'll go buy my own video games, right? Anyway, so it's this freedom argument that he keeps talking about, and it's a really semantic argument, and it doesn't really hold water when you look at it, right? So I'll just read next time that I responded, and then I'll call it good there and see if this will work. Okay, so basically I just did kind of my, you know, I get kind of annoyed at these people, and sometimes I just go off, and that's me. I don't recommend that other people do it, and I don't support it as something that should be done, but it doesn't mean that I don't do it. Anyway, so so I say, I think I must be responding to someone else anyway here. So there's this twin turbine guy. He says, but I don't think anyone is advocating either. In Germany, for example, so it's the Nazi thing, right? Oh, no, he's talking about modern Germany. It is illegal for the state not to provide housing if one cannot afford it. Healthcare as well, yet their society and free market economy does exceptionally well. There is enough wealth for basic services to provide a dignified